So the car's pretty comfortable with what we've done so far. We've addressed the exhaust hanging too low and I put a comfortable reclining bucket seat in. But there's still a couple other things I want to address. My suspension geometry is all messed up and ride quality is subpar. So we're going to work on that today. How do I get Mike in here?
I guess you just did.
So I barely know what I'm doing. So I'm going to enlist the help of my friend Mike here, who actually knows what he's doing. Some of you may recognize Mike Martino from a couple of our pieces on Japanese cars or drifting. And he knows a lot about suspension, so he's going to teach me some things.
I mean, I'm okay.
He knows a little bit about suspension. He's going to teach me some things.
Previously on
Project Reverse Entry. The idea behind the project is doing the opposite of most S13s. I purchased a track-beaten, worn-down S13 with an SR20 swap, and I'm bringing it back to the perfect street car. So, just last week, I had these very nice Yokohama S-Drive tires put on. Shout out to Yokohama for hooking me up with these. They've partnered with us for the Reverse Entry project, and I couldn't be happier to have a legacy Japanese brand involved with my legacy Japanese car. So in addition to being made of a compound that's low on noise but still able to give me maximum performance, the tread design is really built for daily driving as well. These 4 channels that run the length of the tire, those actually allow rain to drain really efficiently. The center strip is made for comfort, so that's how we're reducing noise, is the solid center strip there. And then for added performance, the variable angled groove walls actually optimize contact with the road and provide enhanced traction while cornering, so I can still have fun with this tire later. I'm so stoked to have
RockAuto.com, sponsor.
I wonder if this one came with another free magnet.
Oh, I have like 10 yeah.
Yes! Oh, this one's got a different car on it. Amazing. Yeah, collect them all. Thanks, Rock Auto.
Typically, these are really, really flimsy in this area, which is why I did some modification for Adam. So I boxed it all in because while drifting, I've bent many of them, and so have many other people. And what will happen is this tie rod pickup will then turn, which in turn screws up your alignment, screws up everything. Some people have cracked them, but I've only ever bent them twice. So I boxed them in on mine, and I boxed them in on Adam's, so it really will never happen.
You might be able to see right now that a lot of the suspension components are pretty stressed. The tie rods are on a huge angle when the car is actually on the ground. I mean, when it's floating, it kind of looks okay. But once it's on the ground, this whole assembly is pushed up, and a lot of these ball joints are stressed to their max load. So we're going to fix that with the drop knuckles, which brings everything down to even.
You're in my seat. So just for the first part, the actual control arm, this is S14, S15, but it's from an S14. It's longer than the S13 one, and you can see here where the points are. It's about 10 millimeters, if I remember correctly.
Give or take.
And the front, the hub itself is actually moved upwards, right?
Yeah, it's a big
So it's now closer to the coilover perch,
Right.
and it allows the wheel itself to be higher up in the fender, which is lowering it, essentially, right? And the points where it bolts up to the calipers are all the same. All that's changing is these guys right here, like where it mounts to the coilover, to the hub position. So it changes all that, and it brings your suspension geometry back to a level plane. So the easy way is put the sway bar end link up,
Okay.
so it holds.
At
what
least
you
hold it
need.
in place with the sway bar.
These are always a pain in the ass to line up
Yep.
because they don't really move too much. And they're on an angle, so sometimes they go in well, sometimes they don't. Fortunately, yours did. Can you grab the other knuckle?
Hold on, this might be a good Snapchat.
Like, we're trying to work here, man.
Oh.
Now, one of the things that is always confusing. So, can you go grab over there in the corner a really ugly, rusty looking knuckle? If you notice, it's got little cuts on the nub there,
Yeah.
or the top of the shaft. Now, that is for this washer. So because this shaft is actually designed a little bit different than the shaft that's used on the Aero 1 knuckle, you don't actually need the washer because it sits a lot further forward, right?
okay,
The bearing.
Yeah.
The bearing sits in more, so the shaft and where that little like ring is sits further forward, so the nut actually just sits on there.
Oh, okay, cool.
You see this like little
Ruined.
indent here?
Yes.
So do you know what that's for?
About that. No.
So it's to hammer this guy down
what?
so that it can't just.
Oh.
The fuck was that?
A zip tie. A zip tie.
So now it can't just
I got you.
It's the cotter pin version.
I was gonna say it's the caveman's locking nut.
That feels good.
Nice.
Smooth.
No play at all.
These are good bearings. Thanks,
Yeah.
Conky.
Yeah, shout out to Conky John. I always
And
count
my-
on 3 things when I come here: KFC, beer, Z103, and full blast.
It's also Thursday, so it's gonna go to like Sugar Daddy soon.
Z103.5. $3 drinks and laser free till midnight, y'all. Sugar daddies.
So I've watched Martino assemble this
As
side.
I do all the work.
So I've watched Martino assemble this side, learned a bit, so I'm gonna try and recreate what he just did on that side.
You should go to the back of the car. No, in between. No. No. Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? I'm hanging off it.
No. Yeah, there you go. There you go. No. I just want to say I loosened all the bolts for him. Again.
Fake news. It's just, I'm a visual learner. Step by step, work on the other side.
What you're saying is you like to watch when people do things. Wow. Hey, you're doing it wrong. Oh God, I'm stuck.
3:28 a.m.
So we've got both sides bolted up with new drop knuckles and tie rods and lower control arms. So we're just gonna work on a garage alignment really quick. That'll be enough to drive to an actual alignment shop, as well as the place I'm going next. Stay tuned for that. I can't really say much about that just yet. So Mike's helping me out with a quick garage alignment because, frankly, I don't quite know what I'm doing in that respect. But he's gonna teach me a little bit, and then we're gonna move from there.
So having Adam in the car helps keep the wheel straight, which will allow me to adjust this a lot easier and not move it in a way that will adjust the other side, because the other side's actually really straight right now. And by giving this the small adjustments that it needs, he'll be able to drive to his next shop or adventure, wherever he needs to go, so that it won't destroy his tires in a 20-kilometer drive. Thanks, Yokohama.
You eyeball aligning this whole thing?
Yeah.
Can we just use the toe plates?
No.
These are nice tires. I kind of want them to last.
My eyeball alignments are better than my toe plate alignments.
That's not science. All right, so we've just finished buttoning up everything. Everything is torqued to spec. Thankfully, a lot of the parts were OEM stuff, so it goes on fairly simple. And anything else Martino actually had here, anything we needed, so that was really helpful. The car is just about comfortable in every way I can think of, so I'm going to take it for a test drive and see if it's improved. Martino, you coming?
Might as well.